All right, we are live. Okay, I'm here with Angela. We've actually done this once before. So if you don't know what tapping is, tonight we're going to tap around fear just because of what's going on with the coronavirus and how it is affecting so many of our, just our emotions and how we're processing things. And it's just a crazy time. So I'm so thankful that Angela's here and she's going to share her time and her expertise with us again. But if you want to know more specifically about EFT and tapping and the benefits and just a little bit more in depth. We did a video. How long ago was that, Angela? Was it like 4 months ago,
Oh,
or
yeah, at
doesn't that
least
seem
3 or
like a
4 months.
lifetime ago?
Yeah, I know, right?
Crazy. But just it's Angela and it's all about I think it was called the benefits of tapping. So go watch that too. But tonight, tap along with us. And if you're experiencing fear or any anxiety, stress, day to day, ongoing or otherwise, stay with us for the next 20 minutes or so. And hopefully you'll feel a little better by the end of this. So thank you so much, Angela. I really
You're
appreciate that
welcome.
you're here. Are you finding that a lot of clients and a lot of people are um, just utilizing the tapping technique and utilizing this tool to help in this time?
Yeah, I'm finding that a lot of people are, they've got a lot of changes going on at the moment. So whether that's, just in the having to be around, more people in their home and not being able to go out and that sense of lack of freedom, or whether it's, completely losing job positions, things like that. I'm finding that people are really looking for different strategies to be able to manage their emotions through all of this, because we don't know what's happening, within the next hour sometimes, because of, our government's changing things all the time as well, and our businesses are a little bit, chaotic at the moment too. So what I'm sort of finding is that EFT has been a very good cushion for people to land on, and I've been using it religiously every day, quite often throughout the day, and it's one of those things that when you don't know how else to get through something, it's just a very nice grounding technique as well. So not only on a very cellular level, in which it really does reduce that fear response and that stress response,
Mhm.
but also on that level of just being able to breathe and just being able to relax and creating some space in your own mind. Because, if we can use this time and use it in a way that we create, and instead of sitting in the fear, we're actually moving from that space of, going from fear into that more loving space, because we can't do fear and love at the same time, right? It's actually impossible.
Who wants to feel more in the space of peace and in the space of love and in that space of calm? Like if you are
Mm.
needing that, type I need the calm or I need the peace in the comments and let us know. We want to hear. And if you have a specific thing that you're struggling with too, let us know in the comments. I would love to hear because it is a little different for everybody. Like what is
Yeah.
coming up, and I know I'm excited for tonight because Angela, when we did the tapping last time, I love that you taught that you could do it in the moment. You could do it preemptively, but then also in the moment. I had a couple of times when I was in with my kids and I just started tapping my face. I'm sure they were like, "What is going on?" But like, it is great to be able to have this tool that you can use anywhere, and you can, I think it's, everyone should get some more information on it because it really is. A helpful something to do. All right, let's get started.
Yeah, yeah. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, well, the other thing that I just want to mention too is the points, as you were saying, even though sometimes it can be a little bit clunky in the beginning and you don't know, whether you're doing it right or whether you're saying the right thing or thinking the right thing, don't worry about all of that, because the points actually are creating a positive anchor for you as well, because you've got that somatic touch that you're actually utilizing. So if you do it regularly and consistently, and in the moment when you're feeling that heightened emotion, like you were explaining with the kids, you are going to end up creating that positive stack for that anchoring process. Because when we're sitting in fear and we keep, going around in cycles in our minds about what we think is going to be happening to us in the near future and all those worries, we're creating a negative stack on top of each other. So we
Okay.
want to flip that. So EFT allows us to pivot in that moment. So don't worry about whether you're doing it right, whether you're saying the right thing or not. That's where, you know, you can get that more specific one-on-one help with a practitioner. But when you are just learning it, just keep tapping, you know. So it's great. I'm so excited that you've been using it, you know. So that's awesome. So yeah, basically, Jennifer, I wanted to, I guess, demonstrate for today's purposes, you know, what might be going on and using you as a bit of an example for people, because fear is such a broad topic. So we all go through different, you know, environments, and we have different sensitivities when it comes to fear as well. So as you were saying, it could be, you know, just the fear of even, you know, becoming infected by the COVID virus, or it could be the fear of, you know, losing your job and what that means, and even the fear of having the kids around 24/7 at the moment, things like that. So yeah, if I was to ask you specifically, Jennifer, like what is it that you are afraid of, and why are you afraid of that? That's a really good statement for people to ask themselves. I'm afraid of fill in the blank because fill in the blank. And that gives you some content to be able to tap around more specifically. So how would you answer that? I'm afraid of.
So for me, I specifically am afraid of the future. So whenever I get like worked up or worried about you know, things, it does always come back to the financial space of like, okay, even if we're okay right now, like dependent on how all the dominoes fall and all the things we can't control, and like just the repercussions of, you know, the global economy, like that starts to weigh on me. And I know like I can't fix that, and like so it can be feel very, very big, and I just have to bring myself back. So I would love to learn more about what yeah, what could, I'm sure is anybody else feeling that way? If you are, you know, you're not alone. And then if it's in any other capacity, like she was just saying, like being isolated or being quarantined with kids or being afraid of health, still tap with us. But for me specifically, the finance space of wanting everyone to be okay. And that's a big part of it too. Like I would just want everyone to be okay. I like want people to feel like I fear people's being afraid. Is that weird actually? Like I fear people.
No, that's a cool one. That's
like,
really cool, because you know you're naturally an uplifter and you want people to feel good. True.
I do.
So
Yeah.
it is for especially people in the healing arts and that side of, you know, work and service. It is a very common thing that we have the fear behind the fears. And so we want to see the world in a particular space, and when it's not like that, it really freaks people out, you know, that are in those positions. And that's just because it's a natural thing for you to feel, because you're a lover, you know, and that's what you want. You want the peace, you want the love, you want the harmony, all those kind of things. And you can tell that straight up, you know, when you meet you. So that fear of, well, I can't do anything about it sometimes can be a real stress for the body, because you can do certain amount for people, but at the end of the day, when it feels like something's out of your hands, then it can make it a bigger, well, in your own system, a bigger thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh, that's great. So we can do some tapping around that for sure. So when we think about being afraid of, you know, everyone not being okay, is it still fear that would be the way that you describe the emotion, or does anything else come up for you in that?
I just know that when you're in a space of fear, you're less likely to like try to make changes, or you're more likely to make decisions based on the fear versus knowing that you could pivot, like you guys were talking about, pivot positively, or like when you're in that fear space, it can be domino effects. So I feel like a lot of things can be avoided. So I guess I feel I've been in fear before too, actually. I guess I could say that I've been in that space, and I know it can be debilitating. And it just, you know, I think it's that of, I don't feel of myself, but I want people to be able to feel empowered right now, even in this really awful kind of crazy time. So
Yeah. Which is interesting, because when everything is energy, it all starts with us, right? And that's something that we all need to keep in mind. So when we work on ourselves in this way, then that has that ripple effect. So beautiful topic for us to work on today. So let's start tapping, hey?
okay.
All right. So when you think about that fear, Jennifer, if you could rate it out of 10, because we like to get a measure to be able to check in later to see how it's going and noticing the changes. 10 being, really distressing for you. 0 being doesn't bother you at all. When you think about the fears that you have around what's going on a personal level, but also a global level, what would you rate it as?
It's funny. So sitting here talking to you about it, I actually got really warm and hot and actually started to sweat a little bit. So I actually feel like I can feel it right now. Like I would say it's a good 8 popped into, like I literally, that's what I thought was an 8, where I was like feeling, I was starting to get anxious about it. So just talking about it a little bit, an 8.
Yeah, cool. And is there a certain part of the body that you feel that most, like the intensity of that feeling?
Sitting here right now, no, I just got really hot all over. Normally,
Yeah.
stress wise, I'll feel it in my stomach or I'll feel like tightness in my chest. Like that tends to be the
Okay.
action. But right
Yeah.
now, I just got really like warm everywhere.
Okay, cool. And I just asked that question because sometimes we can have a specific location of where we do feel the intensity. So it's really important for people that are watching to really just focus in on where they feel that in the body as they're going around and doing the tapping sequence. And even though we're not doing it specifically for each and every fear that we possibly could have, there's a thing called borrowed benefit. So when we observe somebody else doing the tapping and we think about our own situation, we can't but help actually internalize a lot of the healing properties of all of that through our mirror neurons, which is a whole nother topic. But yeah, it's always great to tap along and just to say what is specific for you, or just to even think about what's specific for you, because you're going to get benefits as well. So I encourage the people that are watching to actually have their own rating out of 10 when they think about their specific issue and what it is that they're fearful of in this situation, and then recheck in, because you will notice a difference. And sometimes if it does go up, it just means that you're actually tuning in a little bit more into the real situation for yourself. So just keep tapping and then it'll eventually start to come down again. Alrighty. So tapping on the side of the hand, we're going to do a bit of a setup statement here. All right. And just repeating after me, Jennifer. So even though things are okay for me right now, I know that there's things that are not okay for a lot of people in the world.
I know that there's things for a lot of people that are not okay for right now.
And even though
I
have a lot of fear around that, I choose to remember that in this moment I am okay. And even though I feel all of this fear and worry,
even though I feel all of this fear and worry,
when I think about the future and what's going on for me, my family, and all of my loved ones, and how many changes that we've had that feel very stressful sometimes, I choose to give myself permission to breathe a little bit more. Even though I feel all this warm, hot fear all over my body when I think about what's going on in the world today. And it's weighing on me when I think about the future, because I can't fix it. It's out of my control. And I just want everybody to be okay, including me and my family. I choose to allow myself to relax a little bit more now. Anyway. Okay, so now we're just going to go through the points. So just following me on the eyebrow point. All of this fear that I sense in my body, outside of I, all of this worry that's in my body, Under the eye, I'm anxious about my future.
I'm anxious about my future.
Under the nose, so many changes.
So many changes.
On the chin, sometimes it's frustrating.
Sometimes it's frustrating.
On the collarbone, it's weighing on me.
It's weighing on me.
Under the arm, all of this worry.
All of these worries.
Top of the head, all of my stress.
All of my stress.
We'll keep going around. My stress in my body.
My stress in my body.
Outside of eye, the fear in my body.
The fear in my body.
Under the eye, when I think about the future.
When I think about the future.
Under the nose, and what's going on for us all now.
And what's going on for us all now.
On the chin, it's weighing on me and I can't fix it.
It's weighing on me and I can't fix it.
On the collarbone, I just want everyone to be okay.
I just want everyone to be okay.
Under the arm, and I'm scared they're not going to be.
And I'm scared they're not going to be.
Top of the head, I'm scared we're not going to be okay.
I'm scared we're not going to be okay.
Eyebrow point, all of this fear.
All of these fear.
Outside of eye, all of this new responsibility I have.
All of this new responsibility I have.
Under the eye, I understand the domino effect.
I understand the domino effect.
Under the nose, and I know I have to be right in my energy.
And I know I have to be right in my energy.
On the chin, so that I can help other people.
So that I can help other people.
Collarbone, that's a lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure.
Under the arm, because it's like it's all up to me.
It's like it's all up to me.
Top of the head, my kids are relying on me.
My kids are relying on me.
Eyebrow point, my partner's relying on me.
My partner is relying on me.
Outside of eye, my future relies on me.
My future relies on me.
Under the eye, and the rest of the world relies on me.
And the rest of the world relies on me.
Under the nose, because I understand everything's energy.
Because I understand that everything is energy.
On the chin, and I'm afraid that my energy is not feeling good right now.
And I'm afraid that my energy is not feeling good right now.
Collarbone, because I feel fear sometimes.
Because I feel fear sometimes.
Under the arm, when I think about what's going on in the world.
When I think about what's going on in the world.
Top of the head, it's affecting all of us.
It's affecting all of us.
Eyebrow point, and that's uncomfortable.
And that's uncomfortable.
Outside of eye, that's a bit of a weight.
That's a bit of a weight.
Under the eye, all of this stress that I feel when I think about that.
All of the stress that I feel when I think about that.
Under the nose, I can't fix it right now.
I can't fix it right now.
On the chin, I wish I could fix it right now.
I wish I could fix it right now.
Collarbone, but that's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure.
Under the arm, and sometimes it overwhelms me.
And sometimes that overwhelms me.
Top of the head, all of this fear and stress in my body.
All of this fear and stress in my body.
When I think about what's happening now.
When I think about what's happening now.
And what's happening in the future.
And what's happening in the future.
Okay, so let's just check in. We'll take a nice deep breath. Now, Jennifer, I just want you to just try to tune in to what we were talking about before, what you're afraid of and why you're afraid of it. And just note what's happening for you now. And if you could rate it out of 10, where would you be at?
I definitely feel a lot more relaxed. I actually even feel like I almost could correlate to how I feel when I meditate sometimes. I was feeling like I was getting in kind of a meditative state, and even my body feels a little bit like that after I normally stop, like a little bit, it's like lighter, and I can feel like a tingle that goes through. So I feel like a 4 is the number that came up right away. So I definitely dropped down, but I feel much better. From
Beautiful.
a little bit on, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and that tingling is just that movement of that energy, because that is what happens as well in the meditation. And that's exactly the same thing when we release those blockages with EFT. The exact same thing happens. You start to move that energy. And so when you think about what the 4 is that's left, is it still fear, or has something else come up? Because sometimes we can create space for other emotions to come up as well. Or is it still fear?
I don't know if it's fear. I mean, it was funny when you're going through that and realizing, like, saying like you're afraid of taking care of everybody. Like, I kind of realized, like, it's like that's not something like that's unrealistic. You know what I mean? It almost made me feel
Yeah.
this even when you said that. I was like, well, duh. You know? And then I don't know. I don't know. I feel, I guess there's still worry, I guess, for people. So it's not a fear. I
Yeah.
mean, still underlying, just still, there's an underlying, tension probably that's still,
Hmm.
probably
Hmm.
that's probably it, of just like, I know I'm going to be fine. Like I have a good, I know I'll be fine, but just like, how will it play out, throughout? And there is no end date at this moment of how long it will last. So there is still a tension point there for that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's interesting because your brain starts to go, yeah, well, logically, of course I can't be that for everybody. And that's the pressure we put on ourselves. But when we start tapping, we start to really realize what is irrational and what's not, So it's kind of, that's what's happening in your body right now. So let's do another round just on the worry and the tension that's remaining. And then what I'd like to do is do some positive tapping in of some of the things that you do want to focus on, so that we can start to give your brain something else to look towards. Because when we do that, when we sort of take out one thing, we want to put other things in so that we can create that space for new creation, if that makes sense.
It does. Yeah. No, I'm glad
Yeah.
that you were able to see the words that I needed too. You know what I mean? I probably wouldn't have tapped those words through me. So I feel like that was like very valuable of having you doing that with me. So thank you. Yeah. And
Yeah.
hopefully you
Oh,
guys,
you're welcome.
if you're doing it with us, if you got another number, let's do it again and see where you're
Yeah.
at. Okay.
So we're just going to start with that 4 out of 10. So I want you to just tune into that worry.
Okay.
And as we tap on the side of the hand, take a nice deep breath, thinking about what it is that you're worried about. It might just sort of flash up in your mind. You might just see pictures. You might just see words. You might just have a sense. And just note that's that 4 out of 10, and where you feel that in your body. And repeating after me. Even though
Even though
I still have some remaining worry
I still have some remaining worry
locked in my body,
locked in my body,
when I think about that there's no end to this,
when I think about there's no end to this,
we can't see it yet.
we can't see it yet.
And that worries me
And that worries me
because I don't know how long this is going to go for.
because I don't know how long this is going to go for.
I choose
I choose
to allow myself to relax a little more now.
to allow myself to relax a little bit more now.
And even though I still have some worry in my body,
And even though I still have some worry in my body,
and I know that it's there because I feel the tension,
and I know that it's there because I feel the tension,
because we don't know when it's going to end.
because we don't know when it's going to end.
No one can tell us that.
No one can tell us that.
And that worries me a little bit.
And that worries me a little bit.
I accept how I'm feeling anyway.
I accept how I'm feeling anyway.
And I acknowledge
And I acknowledge
that my body's just catching up
that my body's just catching up
with the releasing of energy that I've started to create now.
with the releasing of energy that I've started to create right now.
And even though I'm still worried,
And even though I'm still worried,
when I think about our future
when I think about our future
and how everything's so uncertain
everything's so uncertain
and all the pressure that it's putting on me,
and all the pressure that it's putting on me
all the pressure I'm putting on myself,
and all the pressure I'm putting on myself,
it worries me.
it worries me.
I choose
I choose
to recognize the fact that
to recognize the fact that
the only thing I'm in control of
the only thing that I'm in control of
is how I'm thinking about it,
is how I'm thinking about it,
and therefore how I feel about it.
and therefore how I feel about it.
Okay, so go to the eyebrow point now. All of this worry
All of these worry,
outside of the eye, my worry that still remains
my worry that still remains,
under the eye. I'm still really worried.
I'm still really worried.
Under the nose, this worry in my body.
This worry in my body,
On the chin, It weighs me down.
It weighs me down.
Collarbone. When I think about our future.
When I think about our future.
Under the arm. And there's no end to it right now.
And there's no end to it right now.
Top of the head. I'm worried because I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm worried because I don't know what's going to happen.
Eyebrow point. All of this worry.
All of this worry.
Outside of eye. This remaining worry.
This remaining worry.
Under the eye. I know it's there because it's a 4 out of 10.
I know it's there because it's a 4 out of 10.
Under the nose. And I acknowledge my worry.
And I acknowledge my worry.
On the chin. It's okay to worry.
It's okay to worry.
Collarbone. Even though I don't like to worry.
Even though I don't like to worry.
Under the arm. But I do worry sometimes.
But I do worry sometimes.
Top of the head. And I recognize the fact that.
And I recognize the fact that.
It's okay to worry sometimes.
It's okay to worry sometimes.
Outside of eye. And I allow myself to breathe more fully now.
And I allow myself to breathe. Is that what you said?
Yeah, to breathe more fully now.
To breathe more fully now.
Yeah, under the eye. Even though I'm still worried.
Even though I'm still worried.
Under the nose. I allow my body to relax more now.
I allow my body to relax more now.
On the chin. Even though I'm still worried.
Even though I'm still worried.
On the collarbone. Worrying gets me nowhere.
Worrying gets me nowhere.
Under the arm. But it's okay that I still worry.
But it's okay that I still worry.
Top of the head. I acknowledge how I'm feeling.
I acknowledge how I'm feeling.
And I honor my body.
And I honor my body.
Outside of eye. For doing what it knows how to do.
For doing what it knows how to do.
Under the eye. I'm allowing myself to breathe more fully.
I'm allowing myself to breathe more fully.
Under the nose. I'm allowing myself to relax more.
I'm allowing myself to relax more.
On the chin. I'm choosing to be aware.
I'm choosing to be aware.
On the collarbone. To let go of this at a cellular level.
To let go of this on a cellular level.
Under the arm. I'm choosing to let go of worry back through my past.
I'm choosing to let go of worry back through my past.
Top of the head. I wonder what it would feel like.
I wonder what it would feel like.
To relax even more.
To relax even more.
Outside of eye. I give myself permission.
I give myself permission.
Under the eye. To consider other options.
To consider other options.
Under the nose. I give myself permission.
I give myself permission.
On the chin. To be hopeful.
To be hopeful.
On the collarbone. I give myself permission.
I give myself permission.
Under the arm. To be compassionate.
To be compassionate.
Top of the head. I give myself permission to feel more peace.
I give myself permission to feel more peace.
Let's do another round. Eyebrow point. I give myself permission to reconnect in new ways.
I give myself permission to reconnect in new ways.
Outside of eye. I wonder what I need to be able to feel good right now.
I wonder what I need to be able to feel good right now.
Under the eye. How can I make this joyful experience?
How can I make this a joyful experience?
Under the nose. Who can I call on for support?
Who can I call on for support?
On the chin. How can I use this time to be uplifted?
How can I use this time to be uplifted?
On the collarbone. I choose hope.
I choose hope.
Under the arm. I choose fresh new beginnings.
I choose fresh new beginnings.
Top of the head. I choose resilience, kindness, and love.
I choose resilience, kindness, and love.
Okay, so let's just check in. Take a nice deep breath. So the breath helps us to just reset, get back into our body. And so, Jennifer, how are you feeling? What are you noticing?
I feel good. I feel actually really relaxed.
Nice.
Yeah, I do. I feel relaxed. And even like when you went through in the end, like I actually felt like I saw light. Like I felt light, like I saw it. Yeah, so I feel good.
Nice. Excellent. So if you think about the situation and what it was that you were tuning into before, if you could rate that out of 10 now, where would you be at when you think about the fear and the worry and things like that?
In this like moment, I feel really like I feel I'm as can I be a 0?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm a 0.
totally, because it's neutralized.
Yeah,
Yay! That
neutralized.
just means that it's neutralized. Yeah, completely neutralized, which is really great because now if you wanted to do any more positive tapping and go and do some creation, like brainstorming, anything like that, it's a really good time for you to be able to do that. Because when we're in stress and worry and fear, our brain just doesn't function properly. So part of what EFT does, it actually starts to upregulate the brain function while it's deregulating the stress response. So it has this beautiful pivoting ability to be able to do that. So, depending on where the listeners are at as well, if they're at a 0, great, you can just do some tapping later on when you feel maybe the worry might come back, something might happen that you see, in your life, or maybe one of your loved ones is a little bit concerned about something and that affects you. You can do the EFT process on, when things like that come up. Sometimes it's really a great tip. I have an alarm set on my phone 3 times a day. So it'll be my check-in. So it allows me to stop and just kind of go, okay, well, how am I feeling in this moment? Like, what's going on for me? Where am I at? And sometimes until we ask that question, we don't realize that the stresses can sneak up on us as well. So it's a really good thing to just check in every now and then, but pretty regularly.
I totally agree with you there, because you just get
Yeah.
busy and you do it, and then
Yeah.
at the end of the day, and that happens. Especially, I don't know if any moms are watching, but if you can relate to that, I think that the phone check-in, that's a great idea. So awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
How can people find you if you did this with us, if you joined us kind of towards the end, go back in the beginning, watch the whole thing. But if you would want one-on-one or have someone to facilitate and go through this, especially if you are feeling overly stressed or just need somebody, a resource, that Angela could be that for you. So how could they find you, or how can they work with you?
Yeah, cool. So I've got a website, it's thejoyhut.com.au. So people can go on there and they can contact me through that. Or on Facebook, I do have a business page, which is simply the Joy Hut Mind, Body, Energy Coaching. And I've got a couple of other little groups that, down the track, if people do want to join, like I've got an EFT tapping group where I'm doing some, monthly tapping groups as a collective together. Things like that will be happening in the future. But if people want to actually contact me for more specific support, then they can always send me a personal message on Facebook, or they can send me an email through the website, and I'll get those messages very frequently. So I'll be in touch with you as soon as that comes through. But if it's all right with you, Jennifer, I'd like to actually pull up an awareness of a free gift that I'd like to offer
Course,
anyone that's listening.
Yeah.
So on my website, maybe we can pop the link or something in the comments, but on my website, I've got like a emotional bridging strategy that utilizes some of the EFT as well, that will give you the steps to be able to pull you from certain emotions that you're feeling into the next best emotion. So sometimes when we're talking about hope, it's a really good bridge to go from, oh, well, I'm fearful, but I'm not like extremely excited yet, but what could I, feel that would be the next best emotion for me to feel? And sometimes things like hope and, the idea of giving yourself choices is a good bridge to that. So that's all in that PDF, which I'm happy to pass on to anyone that's listening that wants a little bit of assistance in that respect as a free gift, if that's okay with you. And yeah, if they want any further, help, then yeah, by all means contact me as well.
It's true, because back in the day, that was one of the biggest things I think kept me stuck, because I tried to jump way too far too fast, and I would just go back and forth like a pendulum swing. So it was like I was here and I would just flip the words, you make the affirmation. That would be, but I didn't get there that fast. And when I took smaller baby steps, just like you close the gap for people, it really, that thing started to shift for me. I was able to baby steps. I never got the grand big stuff, but that's okay. The baby steps work.
But that's because that's sometimes more powerful too, because you are doing that stacking along in the process. So it's not trying to go too far too fast, because you want to stretch yourself, but you don't want to stretch yourself so that it feels like it's too scary, because any negative emotion is basically a system saying, hey, I'm not safe here. So we want to create some safety. So I'm happy for people to download that PDF so that it's like that little bit of safety net for them, in times of need. And then, if you still are needing some further support, by all means do contact me and we can set up a meeting.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your talent and, the gift that you have. And
You're welcome.
personally feel better. So thank you for that. And then
you're welcome.
Yeah, and then honestly, anyone that's watching, definitely go follow Angela or get that PDF. So, all right, cool. Thank you so much, and
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
it's a night here, but it's morning for Angela. So have a great
Yeah.
day, and I will talk to you soon.
Beautiful. Thank you.